What if I told you that the deadliest holiday killer wasn't Goldberg Santa or Krampus, but a homicidal snowman? Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Killer J. Y'all can call me KJ and welcome back to another video. And as the Christmas season comes and goes and me being your spooky poppy, I wanted to binge watch some Christmas horror films and pick one to make a video on. And after torturing my significant other and myself by binge watching a bunch of Christmas horror films like Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1 and 2, Krampus, and the classic Black Christmas and its horrible remake, I came across a classic that I really enjoyed, and I understand why it's on like people's top 5 Christmas horror theme like movies. And that movie is Jack Frost. No, not the one where a struggling father, played by Michael Keaton, dies horrifically in a car crash and then comes back to life to redeem himself with his family. I'm talking about the 1997 killer snowman slasher dark comedy called Jack Frost as well. The fuck was that? That was creepy. Something, the fucking headphones just fell. Whatever. I'm talking about the 1997 killer snowman dark comedy slasher Jack Frost. I remember seeing this movie when I was young in the video store, and specifically I remember it because of its cover, because it was one of those holographic like VHS covers where if you look at it from a certain angle it would be a different image, and then if you look at it from a different angle it would be a different image, and you would just like tilt the VHS and you would see it. And the Jack Frost VHS case had a holographic cover of like a friendly snowman, and then when you look at it from a different angle it was like literally Jack Frost the killer snowman, and it would freak me out because if you look at it and walk past it, it would change image and it would just destroy me. It would traumatize me. But now as an adult and a mature horror fan, I can say that I've seen this movie a couple times and I have enjoyed it. It's on my list on Christmas like horror films as well, because it is a very campy film that knows what it's doing without, you know, going over the top on too many things. And although I am gonna make fun of it like crazy right now, it's just a fun film that I do recommend you sit down and watch, because it is a nice like go-to Christmas film that's not too crazy gory and like dark like Black Christmas, and not too crazy cheesy like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, if you know what I mean.
Garbage Day!
And before we start off, I do have to plug myself in, so make sure you follow me on all social media and on Twitch, twitch.tv/KillerJ. All those links are going to be in the description down below, so make sure you follow me there, twitch.tv/KillerJ. I'm live like 2 or 3 times a week.
Autopsy light above body.
What? What do you mean autopsy light above body? What the fuck was... So the movie starts off with like a Christmas themed credit scene of like Christmas tree and decorations and stuff like that, and it has a voiceover of this little kid who's trying to get his granddad to tell him a bedtime story that's like Christmas themed, and the granddad decides to tell him the story of Jack Frost. And we're not talking about the friendly folklore where the snowman comes to life and teaches kids like valuable lessons. In this universe, Jack Frost is a prolific serial killer that's very good at not getting caught and literally disposing of bodies.
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost?
That's right. Like in the song, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Only this guy did it for real.
And off the back, you can tell what movie you're getting yourself into.
Well, Jack would get up, eat something, then hurry off and kill someone. Because that's what he did. He killed people.
Because the kid's voice is not a little kid. It's like an adult that's trying to talk like a kid. So it sounds like Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls.
How should I know? Maybe his mum and dad never gave him enough hugs.
And the story is very detailed and violent, but it's basically a backstory to Jack Frost, the serial killer. He went on a 5-year streak without getting caught, but he finally got caught when he started putting literal body parts in the factory cakes or baking like supplies that he worked at.
Little bits of people started turning up in Mrs. Puddle's pecan pies all over the Midwest.
Like, he was putting people's body parts in like pies and cherry pies and shit. And with that information, the police tracked him down and finally put enough information out there where he got ID'd and he got caught. And now Jack is on his way to get executed because he got sentenced to the death penalty. And when it comes to nailing the Christmas vibes, this movie has a very nice Christmas vibe, regardless of what it is and what we've seen already up to now. And it's one of the reasons that I fell in love with this movie again when I saw it this year, because it's gonna be now one of my go-to Christmas movies because it just has like that campy Christmas vibe. I'm such a basic bitch. So Jack is getting transported and he's gonna be taken care of at midnight the same day that like a snowstorm is coming, but it's necessary that he gets transported today. The guards are being fucking dicks. They're being completely unsensitive to Jack's condition and what's gonna happen to this man, even though he's probably horrible, and we'll see he is actually like a very bad person once this movie ends.
At least he doesn't have to drive back through this crap. Deep fried Jack served at midnight!
Jack Frost is played by Scott McDonald, and I remember him from the movie Jarhead. He's like the drill sergeant in the beginning of the film where he has a little mustache and he just punches the shit out of the protagonist. I remember who played him. I think it's the Mysterio guy from Spider-Man. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name.
So you're gay then, and you love me, huh? Sir, I'm not gay, sir!
And they could have not picked a perfect man to play a serial killer, because God has this thing that he does with his eyes and his face that it just looks like a goddamn psychopath. And his smile is like weird and terrifying. So the two guards talk about Jack's backstory, but now we get more details of it. Like, for example, Jack was caught in a small town called Snowman by like a small town sheriff, like almost like a nobody.
We just crossed the Snowman County line. Ain't this where you screwed up? For years, the FBI was chasing this overgrown piece of shit. And this backwater sheriff plays hero for 5 minutes and takes all the glory.
And it's kind of very lucky that the sheriff from this small town caught such a good serial killer that avoided getting caught for 5 years. It was almost like it was coincidence. Jack silently kills the guard that's with him in the back, literally by stomping on his fucking neck. And because of the snowstorm and a craving for hot cocoa, the transportation truck crashes into another truck and is filmed in such an over-the-top way that is very cool, it's very funny. Like, for example, Jack breaks the fourth wall and looks at the camera and says, "Oh yeah," like the fucking Kool-Aid man. Like, he knows that what's about to happen. Like, this is when the movie starts.
What the fuck? Oh yeah!
Then the truck barely, and I mean barely, touches the other truck, and it just goes all crazy. Everybody dies in the car crash except for Jack and one of the guards. And whoever wrote that guard surviving either wrote him to be like slow or to have like some sort of brain damage. Crazy how a fully cuffed Jack Frost flew out of a van that got into a crash, got loose, had enough time to find a cigarette, light it, and still came out with no injuries at all.
Looks like deep fried Jack's off the menu for tonight, huh?
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
So the other truck that they crashed into had like this acid tank that explodes and covers Jack completely and then starts melting him into the snow. And this is just gross because they use practical effects with a little bit of like late 90s VFX thrown in there, and it looks very nasty as it's getting edited and Jack is melting into the snow. Jack is left a goopy mess on the snow, and then he completely like gets absorbed by it, leaving no trace of blood or bone or anything behind. It's just plain snow. We get like a little zoom in like into the snow, and we see like some particles of snow mixing with Jack's red blood cells and infusing for some reason. The guard tries to shoot the snow, but nothing happens, and you can actually hear Jack kind of getting up and screaming and running away, but they don't show him. You just see the guard's face. Boom, 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 boom. We move on to this couple that's driving home, and we find out that this is the sheriff that actually caught Jack Frost, and his wife is Sam and Annie Tiller. And Sam does have a little bit of PTSD from catching Jack because it was purely coincidence that Jack stopped to do like a little pee break, and Sam was in the area at the time and recognized him from, you know, being ID'd by different police and the, you know, the county and the FBI and all that stuff, because he is a well-known serial killer.
It's over. No more nightmares about Jack Frost.
So the fact that he caught him was completely pure coincidence, and Jack has like this personal vendetta throughout the whole trial with Sam and how he was gonna pay and he was gonna come back and kill him. So he has some form of like weird anxiety because he's just a small town sheriff, and in this town supposedly not that many things happen. Sam drives through the crash, but they don't give him any information even though he's the sheriff, because supposedly it's now a federal manor.
What happened here, officer? I'm with the local.
Let's keep it moving, sir. This is a federal matter.
Okay.
The FBI is involved, and they interview the only surviving guard, who's like at this point slow and just doesn't understand what's going on. I think he's in shock, and they don't give a fuck. He's like in shock completely. It's like what, -5 degrees here? He's probably just like literally in shock and about to die, but they're like, give me the information.
You the man who witnessed the incident? Let's you and me take a little midnight stroll.
Bitch.
We cut to the next day with Sam and his family at home. And by the way, I forgot to mention Sam has a kid that's called Ryan, and this kid is like, I don't know, he's supposed to be like 8, but he acts 4 for some reason.
And you made him go away, didn't you, Dad?
And Annie and Ryan are like praising Sam for being this like small town hero who catch like Jack Frost, the well-known serial killer. And Sam is like taking no credit at all. He's like, listen, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Trust me, it wasn't me. I want nothing to do with it.
Go away, didn't you, Dad?
Well, kind of helped, I guess.
Like Ryan literally says, my dad is a hero, and Sam is like, nah, I'm scared shitless. I'm no hero.
My dad's a hero.
No, son, I just happened to be in the right place at the wrong time. I'm not a hero.
You are to me.
Me too.
While all this is happening, Ryan is cooking like this mush of like oats and marshmallows and shit, so like Sam can take for lunch, so like to reward his dad for catching like the serial killer. And this is, believe it or not, gonna be extremely important later on in the film. We skip a little bit forward where Sam gets into town, and the town is having like this national Christmas snowman competition where it's like a whole like town thing where everybody gets involved, and Sam goes and literally says hello and interacts with everybody that he sees in the town area, you know, showing that Sam is a very respectful, well-known like town sheriff.
What's the difference between snowmen and snowwomen?
No, really, what's the difference? I'll see you, Tommy.
It's snowballs.
Sam goes to the station, and he's not even 1 foot in through the door when he finds out that someone actually unalived.
What's the matter? Somebody die?
I mean, look, it's clearly written right there. They come across this frozen old man in his rocking chair with his neck just snapped back like and the angle of the camera is so fucked up, but in a good way. Like, if you're a fan of horror, you'll know what I'm talking about, because they just angle it from the back and you can see the neck, but you can also see Sam and his 2 deputies in front, and it's actually a very nice kind of creepy angle. Long story short, there's no evidence like around the area. There's no footsteps, there's no blood, the body's frozen, so they have to bring the doctor like from the town in to see what they can find and see what he says, because they can literally not identify who or what killed this old man. By the way, during this scene, the rocking chair is rocking back and forth, and it's actually one of the deputies that's moving it with his foot.
Why don't you get Doc Peters? Take your foot off the chair.
Sam goes to his police-like car and he calls the FBI through his radio for some reason. Like, he calls the station and they transfer him to the FBI office. And here he gets in touch with Agent Manners. He was the one in the earlier scene interviewing the only survivor of the like truck and transportation car crash. Sam is calling him to confirm that Jack Frost is actually dead and Agent Manners is a fucking liar. And just like always, the fucking government lied to us. You know that birds are not real? That's why you don't see baby pigeon.
Well, we had a killing down here last night, and I need to know that Jack Frost is really dead.
Oh, yes, Sheriff. Jack Frost did indeed die in the accident, that I can assure you.
There's also Agent Stone. He's like a scientist for the FBI. And him and Manners talk about the acid and how it's this like chemical thing that fuses humans to like materials like snow, sand, air, water for some fucking reason. They don't explain it now, but they'll explain it later, and it still doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't know.
It wasn't meant to happen like this.
So you keep saying.
We hadn't even tested the acid on an amoeba, let alone a human cell. This is a disaster.
Disaster. You gotta learn to look on the bright side of things.
The bright side?
We cut back to Sam and the doctor inspecting the body, and the doctor basically comes to the conclusion that whoever killed this old man had to like wrap his head around something soft and use enough force to break the neck without bruising, aka or basically a fucking huge snowball.
So I'm guessing that his head was snapped back with alarming force. But just the once.
So we move on to Annie coming home, and something is off. There's a particular huge snowman in their front lawn just looking suspicious.
Suspicious. Look, I made special.
This fucking kid. Annie tells Ryan that the snowman on side needs to be finished, and Ryan runs outside to do so. We cut back to Ryan decorating the snowman, and I gotta be honest, I think that this kid is fucking retarded or something, because he puts on a puppet of a snowman on his hand so he can see if what he needs to do to the snowman. Listen, I live in a fucking island. I've never seen snow since like from the ages of 13 up to now 30. The only thing that I see is fucking sand and water, and I still know how a goddamn snowman looks like. But his slow ass probably does need this, so I'm sorry. Ryan just pisses me off. He builds the snowman, and you think, oh shit, this kid's gonna like get it, like Jack Frost is gonna kill this kid. But he gets interrupted by this group of bullies that want to sled in like the black ice in the area.
I said move it. Are you deaf as well as butt ugly? You're standing in the middle of a black ice sled run, snot for brains.
But this is my dad's front lawn.
I mean, he does have a point. So this bully is 17, Ryan's like 10, and this is straight up assault on a minor because he's just like in his face after Ryan like whispers that he wishes that the bully breaks his neck. So the bully knocks the snowman's head off, and this is where we officially find out that Jack is now this snowman because he clotheslines the bully onto the incoming sled and basically returns the favor. Ryan gets blamed for the accident, and we get this unintentional funny scene between the two EMTs in the scene that's picking up the body. So there's a pool of human juice in the snow, and it's very noticeable because snow is white and human juice is red. And the EMTs like try to throw like snow over it to cover it up, but they don't do it like fast enough because it's like one shot. And then they pick up the body bag, but they're so close together because they're trying to be in the shot at the same time they're walking backwards, and the body bag just folds up, and it's just messed up because everybody's trying to be all sad and shit, but it's just them folding the bag almost like a fucking sheet. It's insane. While all this is happening, the bully's dad is freaking the fuck out and screams extremely aggressively to his wife. Like, you know, this is not the first time he's done this in public.
Please stop telling me to calm down. Shut up. I'm not nuts.
But yeah, the dad's freaking out because his kid literally just got snowballed, and the sheriff's son, Ryan, is blamed for doing it. By the way, this guy is Sam's neighbor.
There's one goddamn psycho in this town, and it's your kid, Sheriff. That kid is touched by the devil.
Jake, let's take this somewhere else. Come on.
This is okay with me right here.
So Ryan keeps saying that it's the snowman that pushed the bully onto the oncoming sled, and since that sounds, what was it again? What was the kid?
Touched by the devil.
Yeah, touched by the devil, as the father said. He straight up threatens to punch Sam, the town sheriff, and then follows up with one of the most saddest lines that I've heard after Sam says, hey, we'll talk about this tomorrow.
You watch the way you talk to me. I'm not above punching an officer out of law if it calls for it.
Why don't you go home and calm down? We'll talk about this tomorrow.
Because I can't talk about it tomorrow. Because I got to look for a place to bury my son tomorrow.
Night comes and Annie's cooking dinner and Sam is looking over some case files from Jack, and they, have a nice conversation, wife and husband, about Jack and her supporting him and him, explaining how he feels emotionally to her. And it's very nice. We get some nice character development here. They hear a huge crash outside and Sam pulls out his gun and goes to open the door, but it's actually Paul, the clerk from the convenience store, who's come over to leave salt for each one of the people in the small town. And it's like a freak out and fake out, so it's like almost like a jump scare. Ow! Jump scare. We jump to the neighbor's home where we're having the typical American Christmas night. Submissive wife, screaming father, flathead daughter going out to see her boyfriend in the middle of the night, and Christmas decorations. The neighbor, Jake, who's the father of the bully, is having a lot of trouble dealing with his son being unalived on Christmas Eve. So he leaves his wife and his family to go out, in his front porch to smoke some Zaza, and Jack is there to strike again. Jack speaks and Jake starts freaking the fuck out, but he doesn't know where the sound's coming from.
Say, pal, how about a smoke?
And he's trying to pull out the axe that's stuck to the stump that he was sitting on, and it's just not coming off, like, at all. Jack keeps taunting Jake, who at this point doesn't even realize that it's the snowman that's right in front of him that's talking. And after Jake starts looking around the snowman to see who it is, Jack makes his move and shoves the axe handle through Jake's throat, and it just leaves it poking out like that. And I don't know how the hell that works, because throats, curve like an L shape almost down, and axe handles, although they do have like a curve, they're straight and sturdy. Like, the only person that I know that has a throat strong enough to bend something that's so like strong and sturdy, it's your sister. And so Jake is out of the picture and Sally is next. So Sally becomes one with the tree, balls and all. I gotta point out, every kill in this film has this weird ukulele music in the background, like tropical, and it sounds like SpongeBob when Jack is like unaliving someone. Paul, the owner of the store, discovers the body and also sees Jack for the first time, and he manages to run away to try to tell the sheriff. Sam is so scared that he doesn't want the town to go crazy, so he's trying to keep all the murders almost like in a hush-hush so he can figure out what the hell's going on, which again kind of shows the character that kind of Sam is and what he becomes at the end of the film. Sam goes back to the station and Agent Asshole is waiting there for him.
Oh, call the FBI in Denver too. Some asshole named Manners. Who are you?
I'm the asshole.
So Manners is here with Agent Stone, and they're trying to go to the crime scenes to kind of confirm whether it is Jack that's responsible for them.
Fine. First take me to the crime scene. If everything checks out as I think it will, I'll have a task force in here by midnight.
They get to the crime scene, and literally not even 5 minutes into the crime scene, Agent Manners and Agent Stone already know that Jack has become like a snowman. They see a puddle on the floor, and they confirm what we already know, that Jack can unfreeze and freeze back to travel like in a liquid form.
I'm reading something. What? Oh, sweet Jesus, look at this. This thing is able to latently alter its elemental molecular structure.
English, Stone, English.
It can freeze and unfreeze at will. It melted, came through the doggy door, and refroze on the inside.
So they decide to set up a curfew because the FBI has decided that they're going to move in at midnight into this town to try to take out Jack completely, and they want people to get completely out of the way and in their home. They get the whole town together in like the town hall and they make an announcement, but it's interrupted by Paul freaking out and destroying all the snowmans who were outside, ready for the snowman competition, because he's seen Jack and he thinks that every snowman is him.
Fucker's a snowman! Fucker's a snowman! No, fucker's a snowman! What are you talking about? No, you don't understand. Paul. No, she had wires coming out of her. She had little lights in her.
Paul, look at me. Paul.
They try to calm him down, but a good old falcon punch by Agent Manor puts him down. Agent Manners gives the town a stern warning that they need to go home. Sam sends one of the deputies to check on Paul's place, and he comes across Jack holding a stop sign in the middle of the road. We get a quick unaliving when Jack melts his way into the driver's seat as the deputy is in the back looking for a shovel, and then he runs him over a couple times, and you know, that's that. Annie goes home alone to go get blankets for her and Ryan to like be in the town hall. And I can see where Ryan gets his smarts from the family, because why the fuck would you go alone to your home when there's a serial killer on the loose, man? Explain that to me. Anyways, a police car comes to Sam's house, and we get almost like a jump scare where we see like some water coming out of the drain, but it's actually a leakage, and the other deputy comes to check out on Annie and take her back to the town hall and protect her. You know, obviously she doesn't die here, but it's a stupid decision what she did. Agent Manners and Sam are looking into a map, and they're planning like a blockage, so when the FBI comes into the town, you know, Jack or whoever they think it is can't escape. And while all this is happening, we cut to Jill and her boyfriend sneaking into Sam's house. Jill was the daughter of Jake Metzer, the neighbor family.
Touched by the devil.
And she's the only one alive, by the way, and because she was out seeing her boyfriend, so she wasn't part of the whole mayhem that happened in her house. And she plans with her boyfriend to get freaky inside of Sam's house in order to get revenge for Sam's kid Ryan killing her brother. I don't know how that works, but to each his own.
I don't think it's such a good idea.
Come on. You want me to have fun, don't you? Or do you want me to sit around and get morbid?
Jill, this is Sheriff Tyler's house.
Exactly.
They sneak into the house and they start undressing, but since this town is like in the North Pole of USA, it turns into like a comedy bit because they start taking layer after layer after layer, and it just becomes longer and longer, and I started laughing during the scene. But we don't get any, you know, coochie coochie because Jill blue balls, you know, her boyfriend because she wants a romantic experience with wine and fire.
Come and get me when you're ready.
Yes, if I was any more ready, I'd explode.
So the boyfriend manages to find a bottle of wine, he opens it up, he serves it, and he's trying to get some ice for the wine by chipping at the ice that's on the walls of the fridge. And first off, who the fuck puts ice in wine? I've heard of like grapes, frozen grapes, but I've never heard of actual like wine like with ice. Secondly, who the fuck uses fridge wall ice shavings as drinking ice? That must taste like fish and month-old broccoli like stems. And thirdly, we get like a little bit of a psych kind of got you moment where we think that Jack is actually in the freezer because there's like a carrot in there, so we assume that Jack has melted his way into the freezer and into the ice that the kid like is gonna drink, and we think we're gonna get like a gnarly kill, but you know, it's a psych out. Jack actually appears in front of the kid.
Who's out there? Well, it ain't fucking Frosty.
And we finally get like confirmation on certain aspects from Jack's like new form. Like for example, he does not feel like physical damage because the kid attacks Jack with the pick that he's using, and Jack just laughs it off. And also, Jack has like some fucking Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero abilities because he shoots ice picks through his hands, and he basically sticks the kid a la Michael Myers to the wall and just takes him out completely.
What do you know? Armed and dangerous. Bottom of the ninth. 4 dead. Here's the wind-up and... ¡Toque el piano! It's a long drive!
And now we get an infamous scene that a lot of people are going to remember. And if you've ever seen this film, it's gonna spark like a weird, like nostalgic horror feeling in your mind, because Jill, who's played by Shannon Elizabeth. If you don't know who Shannon Elizabeth is, she is every young adult and teenage boys wet dream in late 90s, early 2000 like movies. Like, let me list off a couple movies she's been in so you can remember who she is. American Pie and most of its sequels, 13 Ghosts, Scary Movie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and the reboot. So Jill gets into the tub and we get this little PG-13 kind of nudity scene, but it's still too much for YouTube, so I can't show it. And frankly, I'm horrible at explaining these types of scenes. I literally almost got my Terrifier 3 review taken down because of how I described the shower scenes. So I went out and I asked for help. And I reached out to Jay from the Spooky Nerd Club, and I'm gonna have him explain this scene, so if anything happens to this video, I can just blame him and not take accountability for anything that happens.
I appreciate that, Jay. I'm gonna try my hardest not to get you taken down. There was a Boogeyman DVD that came out, I want to say in the early 2000s. I was first introduced to this scene from that DVD. Back when they used to make the DVD menus like really cool and you could find hidden shit. That's basically where I saw this scene from. I instantly fell in love with it. Like, the whole movie to me is great. And of course, because Shannon Elizabeth was in it, which I loved Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. And I also love Scary Movie. And because of Jay and Silent Bob, I always considered her my boo-boo kitty fuck.
Boo-boo kitty fuck?
Okay, that's the start.
I don't care what anybody says, but I think that's one of the coolest fucking nicknames you can ever give someone. So the fact that my boo-boo kitty fuck was in Jack Frost and she was getting killed by a killer snowman and she was such a good sport about it. Obviously, over the years, a lot of people, when they think of Jack Frost, that's the first scene that they think of. This scene, to me, a lot of people think it's controversial with some the things that's going on. I don't like to look at it that way because at the end of the day, it's a snowman, like a fictional snowman doing his thing. I don't know if he was doing his thing in a way to where he was trying to make a you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I must remember to send flowers.
This will always be one of my favorite Christmas horror movies. It's one of those rare Christmas films that a lot of people I feel like should see. And if you want to watch something crazy with your friends and just, you know, have fun and not be so serious watching all of these love Christmas movies and just watch something that's fucking fun and horror-ish, watch this with your friends on Christmas. Have a good time. Make some fucking drinks. Make some snow cone themed drinks. Make some fucking cookies based off snowmans. Do whatever you can to celebrate Jack Frost, because Jack Frost is one of those films that you need to see. And if you're a horror fan, you gotta watch this, because this is definitely a film that impacted that genre. Check this out. Jay, I'll hand it back to you. Let these people know the real about Jack Frost.
Thank you, Ray. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you for being in this video. Guys, make sure you follow Ray. All the links are going to be down below and in the pinned comment. He's a great guy. If you like horror, he's the guy you should go to. He has great taste. So follow Ray over there at the Spooky Nerd Club. Okay, so moving on. We go to the sheriff's station where Sam, Agent Manners, and Agent Stone are basically planning what to do until the FBI comes into the town. And as they're doing that, they get a fax that tells them that a storm is going to be hitting the town and no one's going to be able to leave or come in through the town because of where it's located. So basically, plans have changed now that the FBI cannot make it into the town at midnight. They have to take care of the situation with Jack Frost on their own.
There's a storm moving in over Denver. They can't get the choppers off the ground. They'll be taking everyone in by road.
No way, never happened.
It might be a little late, but they'll be here.
Oh, no. Tell them, Marla.
No way. We're dead center, the Snowman's in Bowl. It's 20 miles uphill in any direction.
We get a small tidbit of detail that never gets expanded on when Agent Stone mentions the company and how they should have been called to take care of Jack in the first place. But the FIB still being kind of sleazy and not telling everybody the details and not telling Sam anything about what's going on with Jack.
I told you conventional weapons will be useless against him. We need the company.
Watch your mouth.
What are you two talking about?
Nothing, Sheriff.
I told you the company should have been called in to handle this whole thing, not some bureau mercenary.
So Agent Manners decides to go full war zone on Jack Frost and ask Sam what kind of weaponry do they have in the armory. Even though in a later scene he opens up his trunk and he has like a Terminator weapons trunk full of different laser weapons and stupid crazy shit like that. Sam explains to Agent Manners that it is a small town and he's a small town sheriff. There isn't that many weapons in the actual station. They're just handguns and 6 revolver shooters. Like, that's it. That's all they have. But they get distracted when a police car arrives at the station empty and wet.
Wherever he is, he's soaking wet.
Hey, Sam, isn't this Jake Metzner's old scarf?
Marla, don't touch that.
And here's where Jack finally reveals himself to the town and to Sam when he appears behind like Sam's secretary, Marla. And I love the way that Marla reacts to seeing Jack because it's so like weird Disney Channel, Mac TV kind of reaction.
Problem, Sam. It's just a scarf.
Oh, God.
So the FBI lets them know that Jack cannot be hurt by conventional weapons. We know that because of the last scene where he got poked by an ice poker and he didn't react at all. So they all run inside of the police station and they try to take shelter, like, because Jack is fucking impervious to pain. And as they're inside the station, Agent Manners finally cracks and tells them that Jack Frost is not actually dead, but he just changed. But they're still withholding some information.
We need something to fight back with.
What are we fighting? Look, I just saw something that doesn't belong in this world, and it's out there killing my friends. Now tell me what it is.
Jack Frost.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Jack Frost died. Jack Frost changed.
And as all this is happening, Jack is melting slowly through the police station door. But for some stupid reason, Agent Manners points at the water puddle with his handgun and just shoots at it and then goes, I don't think it's working. Like,
Right, stand clear.
Damn it, it's not working.
so Jack reforms inside of the police station and everybody freaks out and goes to the back of the station where all the holding cells are. But Sam, through sheer stupidity, accidentally points a hairdryer, Marla's hairdryer, at Jack, and it fucking works. Obviously, if we didn't know it at this point, heat plus snow melts it. It should hurt Jack to a certain degree, and this is one of his weaknesses. So as they're stuck in the holding cell area and they're trying to come up with a plan, Agent Stone doesn't want to actually kill or take care of Jack. He actually wants to preserve him so they can study him. You know, typical government bullshit. And no one's actually paying attention to him. He's like just flopping all over the place, and people are just talking and pushing him out of the way. And Agent Manners and Sam actually think about what's the best way to get a bunch of heat around one area. Blowing it up.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom!
We gotta heat this place up. You gotta blow this place. You gotta cleaning supplies, aerosols, something. Yeah.
So their plan is to use all the aerosol and all the bug spray cans to blow up the station as they escape through a small window in the back. So they set it up, they put all the bug spray in one area, they spray it around, it's filling the whole room with like gas and shit, and they're about to escape, but they forgot that this is a police station and the windows are locked. But Sam does have the key on the other side of the door where Jack is slowly melting in again.
There's a fucking key!
Heck. Don't leave without me.
We get this very tense scene as Sam is reaching for the keys and Jack is just melting underneath him. But Sam is trying to move slowly so that way he doesn't set off Jack and he doesn't get frozen or grabbed underneath.
Shoot. Pick him up, pick him up.
And just like that, Sam does actually set off Jack and he starts to reform kinda and grab onto his leg. But Sam gets loose and starts running towards the back where the window is. Not before saving Paul, you know, the store owner that they put in there because he's supposedly crazy. And I'm so happy that they saved him, because if you can imagine if you were just there and you saw all this happening and then you just blew up because, you know, you just died being crazy and shit. They all get out through the window shooting at the building, which sets off the explosion right as Jack is is getting to them at the window, and then Jack basically melts out and explodes, and we assume that everything is over. But he T-1000s his way kind of together, but he's kind of obscure and all mangled because the heat does affect him and does hurt him to a certain degree. So as he's trying to reform, everybody just runs inside the town hall and tries to actually hide.
You gotta be shitting me.
Come on, run! I'll be back when I pull myself together!
So the town going into a panic, Sam's family being afraid, and the idea that they might all die due to this killer like creature snowman that's outside kind of breaks Sam finally, and he confronts the FBI. He like straight up grows a pair and asks Agent Stone like, hey, what the fuck's up? Like, tell me. Explain to me how the hell we can take care of this situation. Agent Stone doesn't want to tell him information, so Sam shoots him in the fucking dick.
What exactly are we up against?
Not even the Secretary of Defense knows what I'm doing.
My cock. Where's my cock? What? My cock.
Well, he doesn't actually shoot his dick, he shoots in between, but we do get hints that Sam doesn't know how to shoot, so I think he was aiming for his dick, but he just shot in between. I'm just saying. And finally, Agent Stone spills the beans and tells us more information about what's going on with Jack.
Jack Frost was an accident. It was meant to be next-level genetic research.
Essentially, he is a scientist that was hired to make this acid that would melt like humans into like non-human materials, like almost like sand, water, or snow, and it would preserve people's DNA. So in the future, if like the world ends or something like that, they can bring him back through like a drop of this material.
Genetic research. To ensure the survival of our race through a global holocaust, I created an acid that would bond a human chromosome helix with an inert material.
Shut the fuck up!
And obviously, it being experimental, it wasn't tested on humans till the accident with Jack happened, and now they realize that not only does the DNA get stored, but the whole personality, the whole person, and even what they consider to be the soul gets stored within the material.
The snow didn't just store Jack Frost's DNA, it's taken on his personality. Exactly. You know what that means?
It means he's killing my friends.
No, Sheriff. It means that the soul exists. And it's not just some
So what we're seeing is not a creature that resembles or has the tendency of Jack Frost. We're actually seeing Jack Frost as a snowman. You got that? Like, you understood what I'm trying to say? Because I didn't. But it's basically just a fancier term for, hey, killer snowman movie. So after some back and forth, Sam actually comes up with a good idea to put Jack inside the furnace to melt him for good, since the furnace is a fire that constantly keeps roaring and basically will melt Jack completely.
What about the furnace down in the basement? Surely that's hot enough to destroy him.
Yeah, well, we tried blowing him up, it just pissed him off.
I suppose it's possible that the sustained heat could agitate the molecules.
They plan one last standoff to lure Jack into the basement. And it's so cool because they're all sitting outside like in a line just waiting for Jack, like a Mexican standoff. And Jack just turns into a huge snowball and just tries to plow through them completely, but ends up just behind the basement door, which is helping them to fulfill the plan. So since Jack took the bait and he's now inside of the actual town hall, the whole group of people just grab a bunch of hair dryers with a bunch of extensions and start pushing back Jack into the furnace. And after a while, they actually do get him inside of the furnace. Jack screams in pain and he melts away, and everybody just celebrates because they finally put away this nuisance, this horrible thing that's happening to their small town. But they forgot one small detail. Water is snow, and snow is water, and water is formless, is shapeless. So Jack did melt away, but he did evaporate into the pipes and outside of the little steam valve that comes out of the furnace, and now he's back.
But what about the fog on the windows?
It's not fog, Johnny. It too is called condensation.
Condensation.
Jack takes a chunk out of Agent Manner's face, and then Agent Stone tries to parlay with Jack, but Jack is a pure evil serial killer. He just comes inside of Agent. That just sounds... Wait. Jack possesses Agent Stone by basically melting inside of... That just sounds even fucking worse. So Jack has to Jack gets inside of Agent Stone, and now Agent Stone walks around like a corpse, frozen corpse like Jack. I don't know how to explain it. Just look at the clip.
Then tell me what it's like to have breached death, the dream of every man on Earth. You're immortal. How does that feel?
Oh, it feels...
Anyways, we get this gnarly scene where Stone, that's possessed by Jack, goes with Agent Sam, and then he starts throwing up like parts of Jack, but it's not water, it's actually snow, and it looks fucking gross because of the way his neck like fills up. Like it's disgusting. Jack reforms again and starts chasing Sam down, and Sam and Ryan get caught inside of the police car. By the way, the whole reason why they're alone is because this town celebrated and everybody just went the fuck home. Like, no one cared about cleanup. They just went home, and Sam stayed with Ryan inside of the town hall. So now they're stuck in the car, and Jack is slowly melting in through like the vents and the pipes of the car.
Don't let the water touch you. Come here. Get away. Don't let it touch you.
Jack reforms in the back seat, and as he's doing this, Sam manages to actually kick the window out and push Ryan out. And as he's coming out, he grabs the bag of bullshit marshmallow mush that Ryan cooked for him earlier and just smacks it into Jack's face. And as Sam narrowly escapes through the window, we actually see that Jack is screaming in pain inside of the car. And Jack's face is melting and kind of falling off, not like regular snow, but like actual blood and gore and skin. Sam asks Ryan what he put in the special oats, and yeah, Ryan says,
Honey, what did you put in the oats?
Antifreeze.
You what?
I didn't want you to get cold.
The idiot saves the day. So apparently antifreeze is like Jack's ultimate weakness against the acid and whatever bonded him to the snow. It literally tears him apart almost like he's human. So it makes him a solid material and it breaks him down. We can see how much this affects Jack when he comes out of the police car, and you can see half of his like snowman face is all bloody and gory. And then Paul just comes out of nowhere with his pickup truck and just bingo, just sends Jack flying.
I can see your house!
And since Jack is weak, it takes him a bit to actually like get up and reform, because now he's apparently solid due to the antifreeze. And I love the fact that Sam grew like a pair of cojones now, and he's actually talking shit to Jack as he's trying to reform.
Hey, Jack! What? What's the difference between snowmen and snow women?
No balls.
So here's where the final battle actually starts. Sam tells Paul to go to his store and get all the antifreeze that he can and put it in the back of his pickup truck, almost like a pool, and then back up the truck to like the first window or one of the windows in a hotel. They don't tell that much detail, but essentially this is what it tells him. To put the car right at the window in 5 minutes. Sam runs to the building that he pointed at and locks himself in, but Jack is still snow, so he's still trying to melt underneath the door, just taking him a little bit longer than before. And apparently Sam is like in your sister's house or something, because every time he tries to open a door, all you hear is like subtle moaning and people fucking for some reason.
Go away!
It's my husband.
Sam goes to the second floor and runs to the end of the hallway where the window is supposed to be, and he gets cornered by Jack just as he gets to the window. And Jack seems to get the upper hand on Sam by cornering him and trying to stab him through the heart with one of his like makeshift like body ice picks. He actually gets the ice pick almost completely into Sam's chest, and Sam's acting like he's dying slowly, almost playing possum.
Let me see! Oh, I think it is! I think I've got some flesh!
And then Paul arrives just in time, and Sam pushes Jack through the window with his whole body on top of the pickup truck that's full of anti-acid.
This is cavalry, asshole.
And as Jack is screaming and melting away, Sam is literally fighting to keep this mass of snow inside of the antifreeze pickup truck pool. And there's blood and like weird sounds and a bunch of different edits and camera cuts. And it's almost like a real final battle. The the antifreeze manages to completely melt Jack away. Like, there's no trace of him left. But when he fell, one of his arms actually fell outside of the pickup truck and is now attacking Ryan. But they quickly dispatch of it by just grabbing Ryan and just baptizing him in an antifreeze. And yeah, Jack is actually dead this time. He's completely melted into the antifreeze. They collect the antifreeze in bottles and bury it, and this is how Jack Frost's story ends. This is how the movie actually ends. Jack Frost is completely gone. That is until the sequel that went direct to video, and supposedly Jack got his DNA inside of Sam when he stabbed them through the heart and they all melted into the wound or something like that. And Sam's taking a vacation in like Puerto Rico or some shit. And if you guys want me to review that movie, I will close to summer, because it's technically not a Christmas film. It's a sequel to a Christmas film that takes place during the summer. So if you guys want to see that, I will totally be down to do that. So anyways, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this little video review. I hope that, you know, Christmas was a great time for you guys. You had a lot of fun. Now that the New Year's coming and this video is probably coming out in January or towards the end of December, I really want to tell you guys that, you know, get out there, do some good things, do some good stuff. Use your fucking turn signals. You know, people don't fucking do that, and it pisses me the fuck off. Thank you, Ray from Spooky Nerd Club, for featuring yourself in this video. I'm trying to do a bunch of collabs and different videos with different creators, so I can go old school and kind of like, you know, get them out there and get, you know, how they used to do back in the day in YouTube, you know, have little nitbits of collaboration. So thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna head out because I gotta go to work. You know, I filmed this video in 3 days. Like, I filmed 3 different parts. This shirt smells like sweat and tears and just regret. Anyways, take it easy, guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.